All right, looks like we're recording. Tony Gohard here for another Punk Rock Conspirator. This is the third video for Bigfoot that we were doing. So I'm just going to get straight into that. Got my coffee right there. Still have a sore throat, but we're going to get started on this right now. And this is also going to be the longest one so far. I think this one's probably going to be double the length, but we're going to jump straight into it right now. In 1929, Indian agent and teacher J.W. Burns, who lived and worked with the Stalice Nation, then called Chehalis First Nation, published a collection of stories titled Introducing BC's Hairy Giants, a collection of strange tales about British Columbia wild men as told by those who say they have seen them, in Mackle Ann's magazine. The stories offered various anecdotal reports of wild people, including an encounter a tribal member had with a hairy wild woman who could speak the language of the Douglas First Nation. Burns coined the term Sasquatch, believed to be Anglicized version of Sasquatch. Saskeet. That's what it is, Saskeet. Roughly translating to hairy man in the Halquis Melem language. Burns describes the Sasquatch as a tribe of hairy people whom they claim have always lived in the mountains, in tunnels, and caves. And yeah, another thing that's going to be happening with this is, of course, just like the other ones, I'm going to be mispronouncing words because lots of times this is my first time seeing that word and trying to read it as it scrolls. Not too good at it, but it is what it is. So let's dive back in. The folklore of the Cherokee includes tales of the Sul Kalu, who are described as slant-eyed giants that reside in the Appalachian Mountains and is sometimes associated with Bigfoot. Members of the Lumi tales about creatures known as Semiquis. These stories are similar to each other in the general description that the Semiquis, but detailed different among various families' accounts concerning the creature's diet and activities. Some regional versions tell of more threatening creatures, the Staiha and the Kwikwi Yai, were a nocturnal race and children were warned against saying their names so that the monsters would not carry them off to be killed. The Iraqis tell of an aggressive hair-covered giant with a rock-hard skin known as the Atni Yahi, or stone giant, more commonly referred to as the Jinukswa. In 1948, Paul Kane reported stories by the natives about Skookums, a race of cannibalistic wild men living in the peak of Mount St. Helens. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, in his 1893 book, The Wilderness Hunter, writes about the story he was told by an elderly mountain man named Bauman, in which the foul-smelling bipedal creature ransacked his beaver trapping camp, stalking him and later becoming hostile when it fatally broke his companion's neck. Roosevelt notes that Bauman appeared fearful while telling the story, but attributed the trapper's German ancestry to have potentially influenced him. The Alutiiq of Kenai Peninsula in Alaska, telling of the Nantingan, a Bigfoot-like creature. This folklore was featured in the Discovery Plus television series Alaskan Killer Bigfoot, which claims the Nantiquid was responsible for the population decrease in Portlock in the 1940s. Less menacing versions have been recorded, such as one by Reverend Elimelech Walker in 1840. Walker was a Protestant missionary who recorded stories of giants among the natives living near Spokane, Washington. These giants were said to live on and around peaks of nearby mountains, stealing salmon from fishermen's nets. All right, so we're going to take a little break right there. That Bigfoot I like. He's more of just like a little mischievous jerk stealing fish. But yeah, some of these Bigfoot stories, they do get scary and they do get pretty spooky, violent, and crazy. I like more of the funnier little kind of playful creatures. But anyway, while I've got this stop, I'm going to tell you right now, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment in the comment box. Let me know what's up. Let me know of any stories that you know. Check all those things out. There's also descriptions to my other channels down there if you can check those out if you want. And do not forget to hit the Patreon page. Check that out. There is, all the videos. I do little behind the scenes videos. I put those up every week or so. And then also on top of that, you'll be getting your name at the end card on the videos that I'm going to be putting out. Right now it just says Patreons could be you, but go and check that out, get on that, and let's jump right back into the video. Alright, Ape Canyon Incident. On July 16, 1924, an article in the Oregonian made national news when the story was published describing a conflict between a group of gold prospectors and a group of ape men in a gorge near Mount St. Helens. The prospectors reported encountering guerrilla men near their remote cabin. One of the men, Fred Bake, indicated that he struck one of the creatures with a rifle. That night, they reported coming under attack by the creatures, who were said to have thrown large rocks at the cabin, damaging the roof and knocking Beck unconscious. The men fled the area following the morning. The U.S. Forest Service investigated the site of the alleged incident. The investigators found no compelling evidence of the event, included it was likely a fabrication. Stories of large, hair-covered bipedal ape men or mountain devils had been present piece of folklore in the area for centuries prior to the alleged incident. Today the area is known as Ape Canyon and is cemented with Bigfoot related folklore. Origins of the Bigfoot name. Jerry Crew and Andrew Genzoli, I think it says Genzoli. In 1958, Jerry Crew, bulldozer operator for logging company in Humboldt County, California, discovered a set of large 16-inch human-like footprints sunk deep within the mud of the Six River Forest National Forest. Upon incoming information from his co-workers, many claimed to have seen similar tracks on previous job sites, as well as telling of old incidents such as an oil drum weighing 450 pounds being moved without explanation. The logging company men soon began to realize Bigfoot to describe the apparent culprit. Crew and other initially believed someone was playing a prank on them after observing more of these massive footprints. He contacted reporter Andrew Genzoli and the Humboldt Times newspaper. Genzoli interviewed lumber workers and wrote articles about the mysterious footprints, introducing the name Bigfoot in relation to the tracks and the local tales of the large, hairy, wild men. A plaster cast was made of the footprints, and Crew appeared holding one of the cast. On the front page of the newspaper on October 6, 1958, the story spread rapidly as Genzoli began to receive correspondence from other major media outlets, including New York Times, Los Angeles Times. As the result, the term Bigfoot became widespread as a reference to an apparently large, unknown creature leaving massive footprints in Northern California. As a result, Willow Creek and Humboldt County are considered by some to be the Bigfoot capital of the world. Ray Wallace and Rant Mullen. I guess this is going to be their story. In 2002, the family of J. Crew's deceased co-worker Ray Wallace revealed a collection of large, carved wooden feet stored in his basement. They stated that Wallace had been secretly making the footprints and was responsible for the tracks discovered by the crew. Wallace was inspired by another hoaxer, Rant Mullen, who revealed information about his hoaxes in 1982. And in the 1930s, in Toledo, Washington, Mullins and a group of other foresters carved pairs of large feet made of wood and used them to create footprints in the mud to scare huckleberry pickers in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest. The group would also claim to be responsible for hoaxing the alleged Ape Canyon incident in 1924. Mullins and the group of the foresters began referring to themselves as the St. Helen Apes and would later have a cave dedicated to them. Wallace, also from Toledo, knew Mullins and stated he collaborated with him to obtain a pair of the large wooden feet and subsequently used them to create footprints on the 1958 construction site as a means to scare away potential thieves. Alright, so that's that. This looks like a whole lot of craziness. They were playing a joke or whatever. It happens. But let's see. Other historical uses of Bigfoot. In why do I keep on wanting to say 19? In 1830s, a Wendat chief named Bigfoot due to his significant size, strength, and large feet. Potawatomi Chief Mamaksuk, known as Chief Bigfoot, is today's synonymous with the area Walworth County, Wisconsin, and has a state park and school named for him. William A. Wallace, a famous 19th century Texas Ranger, was nicknamed Bigfoot due to his large feet and today has a town named for him, Bigfoot, Texas. Lakota leader Spotted Elk was called Chief Bigfoot. In late 19th and early 20th century, at least two enormous marauding grizzly bears were widely noted in the press and each nicknamed Bigfoot. The first grizzly bear, called Bigfoot, was reportedly killed near Fresno, California in 1895 after killing sheep for 15 years. His weight was estimated at 2,000 pounds. The second one was active in Idaho in the 1890s and 1900s. That makes sense. 1890s and 1900s, beginning of the 1900s. Between the Snake and Salmon River, and supernatural powers were attributed to it. I guess that's the end of that. I wonder what the supernatural powers were, because I don't know, man. Sometimes some crazy stuff does happen, and you never know what it is. But anyway, that's that for that. That is the third Bigfoot video. Again, stumbled over my words. This is the first time even reading this. I just kind of clipped it and then just decided I'll just roll with it. But it is what it is. So once I start getting used to those kinds of names, I'll be able to read it, on site without having to actually read out each letter. But whatever. So that's that. That is Bigfoot. Don't forget to get down into the comments, drop a like, do all that stuff. And I will catch y'all in the next video. I'm not too sure what it is or what order I'm going to put these out in, but they'll be coming out. So catch you in the next video.